Hello, and welcome back to the Parenting Burrito, formerly known as Parent Talk. This is a podcast that wraps up the parenting lifestyle all into one place. We talk about the real struggles, the real fails, and the real happiness that we all experience as a parent. If there's one thing I want you to take from this podcast, it is knowing that you are not alone in your feelings, actions, and emotions. We are not perfect, and there's no need to pretend to be. I'm your host, Alexandria, and I'm so glad that you've joined me today. So let's start off, like every other podcast, with our daily affirmation. So I want you to say this affirmation out loud and take a deep breath in and deep breath out and really feel what you're saying. Sometimes even looking in the mirror and saying this out loud to yourself kind of helps validate the affirmation and gives it a little more power. So today's affirmation is, I have the patience I need to parent a strong-willed child. And you can repeat that as many times as you need. So if you haven't already guessed it, today's topic is parenting strong-willed children. Or child, depends how many you have. I have 3 very strong-willed children, and my biggest struggle with parenting is constant yelling for me. Constantly yelling at them, constantly telling them that they're not doing something when I asked. I mean, it's a constant battle. And then, you know how sometimes you just get so frustrated, your words get jumbled. My kids will be like, did you mean this? And then it just makes me more mad. From what I've learned from my kids, being home with them, because I work full-time from home, and then I also homeschool. What I've learned most, or that they've taught me, is that they really just want to be treated as little human beings. They are their own people, and yes, we know they are their own people, they're their own human beings, but I feel like sometimes parents make an exception. Yeah, you are your own human being, but when you're in trouble, you're a kid. You don't understand. There's always exceptions to rules that we make when it's convenient for us. And unfortunately, that is one of the harder parts of parenting, is you can't make those exceptions. You have to try to stay consistent as possible, especially with strong-willed children, because strong-willed children grow up to be strong, independent human beings, and you have to remember to not break their spirit or burn out their fire that is within them. We have to remember that we're showing them how to be adults. I know in the heat of the moment, it's not the easiest to remember that, but if you practice a little bit every day, practice not yelling as much, or practice talking to your kids, not as they're your friend, because that's not what I'm suggesting, but talking to your kids like they're human beings. Talk to them in a normal voice. If you have smaller children, maybe go down to their level and look at them eye to eye, because you don't want intimidation factors don't work on strong-willed children. In fact, I was a strong-willed children, and I know it pissed me off even more when my parents used intimidation or when I got spanked. I just got more mad. And I've kind of learned this over parenting on my own, because it's not something that is taught. Parenting isn't something that is taught. It's just something that you learn as you go. And it's trial and error for 18 years. And just when you think you get it right, You don't. And it's difficult and it's hard. And all you can do, or all of us can do as a parent is try. And then if that works for you, fantastic. Tell other people about it. And if it doesn't, now you have a suggestion for someone else. You can be like, oh, I tried this, and then you try something else. I mean, not every parenting tip or parenting hack is going to work for everyone because everyone's kid's personality is different. Every parent's personality or parenting style is different. No one's the same. And unfortunately, the parents who are blessed with strong-willed children or childs, it's your way of learning to be patient, learning to talk to people, or kids specifically, how they should be spoken to. I know it's kind of hard to break the parenting style that some people might have, especially if their parents were always yelling or spanking or like mentally and physically abusive. Sometimes that is really hard to break, and I've struggled with that. I could be the first to admit that I've definitely struggled, and I feel like no one really tells you how to get out of that. But I'm learning, and I'm learning with everyone who listens, and we're going to grow together. We're going to grow to be better parents and moms, and we're going to do it. We're going to do it, and we're going to try to be patient as we can. And I think it's okay to lose your shit sometimes, as long as you're not physically harming your kids or even causing any mental trauma. But I know, man, even just go in your shower and scream at the top of your lungs and then come out and be like, okay. Because, I've had to do that a couple of times, and it's kind of it's like a quick, slap in the face, Alex, get your shit together type thing. But strong-willed children are just a whole nother breed. And like I said before, it's definitely something that's a trial and error. This is, hopefully you weren't expecting the save-all tip for strong-willed children. I'm sure whatever you're doing that is working, keep doing it and be more mindful of how you're talking to your kids, how you're acting around them, how you act to situations, especially for the parents who spend a lot more time around their kids or with their kids. Kids definitely 100% pick up every habit, every phrase, every word, every little thing, and they mimic you. And it's not on purpose. It's just like when you hang out with people and you tend to pick up the same tendencies or little habits or gestures that they have. It's the exact same thing, except for kids are more vulnerable to that because you're all they have. They don't have the ability to go outside of the home, especially in the middle of a pandemic. But I'm sure all you parents out there are doing an amazing job, and don't doubt yourself. Trial and error. That's what parenting is. We're here. I'm here to help you through it. You're here to help me through it, and we're going to get through this. We're going to get through parenting strong-willed children. Because remember, they're going to grow up to be independent people, and that's everything that I could ask for as a mom is for my kids to be independent and not depend on anyone else, especially as adults. So if you loved what you heard today, show your support and join our community of other mothers at buymeacoffee.com/Inspo Family blog. The community has some great bonding experiences and also comes with a few freebies. So just keep that in mind. And remember, Inspo Family is a place where families grow, so grow through kindness because kindness matters, and so do you. For more great content, please visit inspofamily.com. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a good night.